she's from another planet, begins by showing a man catching a fish in the ocean. But apparently, it wasn't an ordinary fish because just as the man was about to cut it, a whale suddenly appeared under the boat and caused it to wobble. Then a moment later, after the whale had left, the man found a fish scale in the water. And he seemed to know, just by looking at it, that the scale had unusual power. The film then shows us a beach filled with students playing beach ball. And two of the girls who play in the match will play a big role in this film. They are two best friends, Amy and Kiki. When the match was over, Amy and Kiki decided to explore a museum near the beach after they found a strange trail leading to it. Sure enough, as they walked through the dark and lonely place, they saw someone's shadow flash before them, making them panic and fear. They were so panicked that they accidentally dropped their phones and flashlights, resulting in them fumbling in the dark just to find each other. And at this moment, they found the figure they had just glimpsed. It's just that the figure is not a human but a mermaid. The sight they saw, however, shocked them as much as if they saw a terrifying ghost. Moments later, they fell unconscious from the fright. The next day, they awoke when the sun had long since risen. Incidentally, today they still have a match schedule, so they don't have time to think about what they saw yesterday. In a hurry, they left the museum and went to the match's location. But when they got there, they found the match had already started. And to make matters worse, their coach has decided to kick them out of the team. Knowing there was nothing else they could do there, Amy then took Kiki back to the museum to check if what they saw yesterday was really a mermaid. But now the museum was open, and they found many kids running around. Even so, they kept looking until they finally found what they saw yesterday. A mermaid, and a beautiful one at that. Although strangely, at this time, the mermaid had legs just like humans. But they were sure that the girl was the mermaid they saw yesterday. They still haven't forgotten her face. And for some reason, they took the mermaid to Amy's house, where they finally got to know each other. They quickly became close, especially after Amy and Kiki saw firsthand how her legs turned back into flippers after she showered. They believe that the girl is a mermaid, and they are very enthusiastic about it. The mermaid, whose name is Sunny, later explains that she secretly went to the human world because she was bored in the ocean. But while she was swimming near the surface of the sea, she was accidentally caught by a human, and even though she managed to escape from him, she lost a piece of scale in the process. Without the scale, she will not be able to go home because it functions like a GPS that can guide her on her way home. The scale itself is now in the hands of the fisherman from the beginning of the film, who is obsessed with proving the existence of mermaids. Of course, he was very happy after getting the scale, which he believed came from a mermaid. But before he could analyze it further, a courier came to deliver his order, forcing him to put the scale into a small container. And to his surprise, the scale was gone when he came back. It turned out that the scale was stolen by a cat who entered through the window. The cat then took it to its owner, Wen Zhengzai, who is also a student at the same school as Amy and Kiki. And strangely enough, when Zhengzai picked up the scale, it was as if his body was caught in bright light from the scale. Meanwhile, Sunny, Kiki, and Amy discuss Sunny's abilities, one of which is restoring people's memories. Incidentally, Amy has a senile grandfather at home. So she asked Sunny to use her powers to recover her grandfather's memory. And miraculously, Sunny really can do it, although unfortunately, the effect of her ability does not last long. A few moments later, Amy's grandfather could no longer remember her. Sunny guessed that her strength was much reduced because her scale was missing. Hearing that, Amy and Kiki promised to help her get her scale back so they could heal Amy's grandfather. Still, they were worried about leaving Sunny alone as long as she couldn't return home. So they decide to take her to their school, where she will pretend to be a student there. That way, they could more easily keep an eye on Sunny. But as a consequence, they have to work extra hard so that she doesn't show that she is a mermaid to the other students. Besides, she wasn't a person who was very familiar with how human interaction worked, so sooner or later, she was bound to get into trouble if Amy and Kiki let their guard down. Sure enough, it happened as soon as Sunny entered the class. She accidentally splashed ink on the face of the popular student, Luo Yilin. Sunny did apologize for her mistake and tried to clean Yilin's face. It's just that she cleaned Yilin's entire face to the point that she removed her makeup. After school, Sunny suddenly got a signal from the missing scale. And so, she set out to find the scale, accompanied by Kiki and Amy. In the middle of the search, they found a lost tortoise, so they decided to take the tortoise to its owner. And it just so happened that the tortoise owner was Wen Zhengzai, who also happened to be holding Sunny's scale. Really, there are a lot of coincidences in this film. Anyway, they returned the tortoise to Zhengzai, who was said to be the smartest and most handsome student in the school. As an expression of gratitude, he then invited them into his house so he could give them at least a drink. And it was at this moment, when Zhengzai was preparing their drink, Sunny finally found her scale in the frame. It's just that the color of the scale seems to have faded, indicating that its power has been lost or taken by someone else. Driven by curiosity, Sunny continued to observe the scale. But because she was too focused, she didn't notice that there was Zheng Zai's pet cat on the sofa she was sitting on. Naturally, she became frightened to see the cat because she thought the cat would eat a fish like her. In her fright, she jumped up and hugged Zheng Zai. At this moment, as they hugged each other, the camera started to slowly circle them, as if to emphasize that this was a romantic scene. But this romantic scene is spoiled somewhat by Sunny suddenly sniffing Zheng Zai. Her behavior certainly embarrassed Amy and Kiki, so they dragged her out of the house. And coincidentally, Yi Lin was walking toward Zheng Zai's house when they came out. Seeing Yi Lin suddenly in front of her, Sunny somehow went into shock, and to her surprise, she hugged Zheng Zai again. Yi Lin, who liked Zheng Zai, was practically jealous when she saw them hugging. When they returned home, Sunny finally explained to Amy and Kiki about her strange behavior in sniffing Zheng Zai. It turned out that it was because the power of her scale had been transferred to him, so when she hugged him, it made her feel like she was hugging her own scales. Apart from that, she knew how to get her strength back from Zheng Zai, namely by sucking it through his lips. In other words, they have to kiss. So the next day, the three of them started approaching Zheng Zai, hoping they could find a way to get Sunny closer to him. But their efforts were always hindered by Yi Lin, who was near him most of the time. Her failure, however, made Sunny keep thinking about Zheng Zai. So she decided to draw him on a piece of paper. It seemed that the process of drawing Zheng Zai's face was quite complicated, that Sunny was exhausted and fell asleep on the table afterward. Then the next day, a teacher entered the classroom, and it turned out that the teacher was the fisherman. Needless to say, he explained about fish to the students and even wanted to dissect one in front of them. Here, Sunny immediately stops him from doing that before trying to snatch the fish away from him. On the other hand, the teacher continued to insist on dissecting the fish, resulting in a struggle for the fish between them. Seeing the struggle, Zheng Zai decided to side with Sunny. He then snatched the fish from the teacher's hands and took Sunny out of the classroom with him. It turns out he took her out to sea, where they then released the fish into the water. Eventually, they got acquainted and said their names for the first time. After that, Zheng Zai took Sunny home and she gave him the drawing she had made last night. Zheng Zai then checked the drawing as soon as he got home. It's not very good and even looks like a child's drawing. But he liked it. When the holidays arrived, everyone decided to go to the beach together and their Yi Lin continued to cling to Zheng Zai again. The opportunity for Sunny and Zheng Zai to be alone didn't come until nightfall when the girls were drinking together. At this time, Zheng Zai invited Sunny to get away from the girls and take her to the beach where they then enjoyed the sea view at night. Here Zheng Zai also gave her a necklace from her scale, much to Sunny's delight. The following day, when Sunny woke up, Zheng Zai was already snorkeling in the sea. But at this moment, suddenly, there was a problem with his oxygen cylinder, causing him to panic. Fortunately, Sunny realized that. So she immediately jumped into the water and helped him. Although, before she takes him ashore, she kisses him underwater to regain her powers. After she brought him ashore, Sunny tried to wake Zheng Zai up. But since her form had returned to the mermaid after she touched the water, she was forced to leave when the girls came to look for Zheng Zai. She didn't want Yi Lin and her friends to see her true form no matter what. But unfortunately, Yi Lin had a chance to see her before she left. Now she knew that Sunny was not human, and of course she would take advantage of that fact. A few days later, the students were excited at school because the school's beauty queen event was about to be held. Amy, Sunny, and Kiki were also among the students enthusiastically anticipating the event they planned to take part in. And Sunny was even happier after Zheng Zai asked her to be his dance partner at the event. While the students were busy talking about the event, Yi Lin was more interested in spreading the word that Sunny was a mermaid. And unfortunately, when she was talking about it with her friends, the fisherman teacher also heard it. Thus, he quickly made a plan to get the mermaid for himself. A few days later, Sunny was in a dilemma as she would part with Amy, Kiki, and Zheng Zai after she managed to regain her powers. And in her indecision, a little boy came to her and gave her a letter from Zheng Zai. In the letter, Zheng Zai asks her to meet him at the school pool. But it turned out that the letter was not from Zheng Zai. It was written by Yi Lin, who planned to show Sunny's true form in front of Zheng Zai. Sunny then went to the swimming pool, hoping to meet Zheng Zai there. He did come sometime later because he also got a fake letter from Yi Lin. However, as they drew closer, Yi Lin suddenly appeared and pushed Sunny into the pool, causing her to transform into her original mermaid form. Zheng Zai was taken aback by Sunny's transformation. He refused to believe what he saw and instead ran outside. As for Sunny, she could only allow herself to be held by Yi Lin's friends in the swimming pool. Yi Lin had deliberately kept Sunny there because she was planning to tell all the students in the school about Sunny's true form, which she called a monster. So she took the mic and told the students to go to the pool to see the monster she was talking about. Curious, all the students who heard the announcement flocked to the swimming pool, including Zheng Zai, Kiki, and Amy. But when they got there, they didn't find the monster. Instead, they saw Yilin's two friends tied up by the poolside. It turned out Sunny had been taken away by the fisherman teacher to his place. Sometime later, while the students had gathered at the Beauty Queen's venue, Amy and Kiki tried to find Sunny with the fisherman teacher's address as a clue. Coincidentally, as they were approaching their destination, they ran into a courier who was about to deliver a package for him, giving them an idea of how to save Sunny. Kiki would disguise herself as a courier and distract the fisherman teacher, while Amy slipped through the window in the back room to free Sunny. But their plan failed. The fisherman teacher breaks off Kiki's disguise and takes her inside, where she is reunited with Amy and Sunny. Now that he had three beautiful women before him, the fisherman teacher decided to have some fun with them first. Fortunately, Kiki reacted quickly by hitting him on the head with a globe, knocking him out instantly. After being freed from him, the three girls then ran towards the location of the Beauty Queen's party. But on the way there, Sunny suddenly stopped in the middle of the road, saying she had decided to end it all. Meanwhile, at the venue, Zheng Zai dances with Yilin, although his expression implies that he wants to dance with Sunny. Not only that, but Yilin also became the winner of the school's Beauty Queen contest. But shortly after the tiara was put on Yilin's head, Sunny entered the room. She wants to say goodbye to everyone by singing. And after she finished singing, the fisherman teacher reappeared to catch Sunny. But Amy's grandfather suddenly stopped him. He hit the fisherman teacher in the back and knocked him unconscious. And at this moment, Zheng Zai felt he could no longer hold back his desire to kiss Sunny. So he went up to the stage and kissed her there, making everyone who saw them excited, not to mention the teachers who for some reason clapped happily, as if their goal in life was to see their two students kiss. At the end of the film, Sunny, who has decided to return to her hometown, bids farewell to Zheng Zai, Amy, and Kiki on the beach. Then, she returned to the ocean by riding a whale which she drove like a car. The moral we can learn from this film is that there are always limits in love. We cannot force ourselves to always be with the person we love, especially if that person is a mermaid.